Hi, you're watching WION with me, Sana Khan. Over the next half hour, we try and build up to the all-important investigation into the Panama leaks case in Pakistan. For the first time ever, a sitting Prime Minister in Pakistan will appear before the Supreme Court-appointed joint investigation team probing Nawaz Sharif and his family's involvement in the case. And this is not only crucial for politics in Pakistan that heads into election next year, but is historic as well. We look at the facts, legal and political implications and build up to our continuous coverage on Thursday here on WION. Now, the joint investigation team constituted by the Supreme Court to probe the case has issued summons to Pakistan's Prime Minister to appear before it on the 15th of June, that is tomorrow. Later, the Prime Minister's office issued a statement confirming having received those summons from the JIT. The statement said that the Prime Minister will appear before the JIT. Let's take a quick look at what exactly do the Panama Papers reveal. The leaks in April 2016 revealed that 3 of Pakistani Prime Minister Nawaz Sharif's children owned offshore companies and assets not shown on his family's wealth statement. The companies identified so far include 3 British Virgin Island-based companies incorporated between 1993 and 2007. These companies have been issued to channel funds to acquire foreign assets, including some apartments along Park Lane in London's Mayfair area. And the insinuation that these companies were meant to hide or launder ill-gotten wealth or to avoid taxes called his credentials into question. And WION's Pakistan Bureau Chief Taha Siddiqui caught up with Umar Chima, a senior journalist. Mr. Chima, who is a part of the team probing the Panama case, talks about the significance of the Prime Minister's appearance before the JIT and the political significance of how the case proceeds from here on. Let's listen in.
I'm standing here with Mr. Umar Chima, who's a senior journalist and part of the Panama investigations in Pakistan. We'll be discussing with him with regards to the fact that Pakistani Prime Minister Nawaz Sharif is going to be appearing in front of the joint investigation team tomorrow. My first question to you, Mr. Chima, is that the very fact that Prime Minister is going in front of the JIT, this is unprecedented. We have never seen this before. How do you look at this? Did you expect this when you were investigating the Panama leaks? Did you feel that the Prime Minister will himself appear before the investigation committee?
Yeah, it's a big deal, appearance of the Prime Minister before the JIT. When I was doing the investigations, I thought many things. I realized that it will become a big news, more so because the family of the Prime Minister has been identified in connection with the Panama Papers. But the case has been lingering on and it has stayed on for so long. I wasn't expecting that to happen. And it's a good sign in a way because there is a common perception that no story can survive for maximum more than a week. But it has survived for more than a year and due to the first family. So tomorrow will be a historic day when the Prime Minister appears before the JIT, and it will be the victory of the rule of law. And it's not going to change everything, but it has a symbolic significance.
And, there are lots of questions being raised about the fact that whether or not the Prime Minister are going through with this whole process, whether there will be accountability or not. Do you think that we are seeing more accountability, more transparency in Pakistan? The ruling elites are being asked and questioned like this. His whole family is being questioned like this. Do you see it heading somewhere?
It's heading to the right direction in a sense that the elite is feeling the heat and they realize that they cannot go unaccounted anymore. They will have to be held answerable. And the case Sharif family, they never realized that the court will grill them so much and they will try to get to some facts. And they didn't expect that out of 5-member bench, no matter there were 2 members, but they were in favor of the disqualification. So there were many things new for the Sharif family, there were many things new for the public. So it's an education for all of us, and the positive thing is that we are heading to the right direction.
And my last question to you, do you think that because of this, all of this accountability and everything happening, does it affect the Sharif's family's political career? Because elections are next year, do you think this will affect them in any way? Some people are even saying that they should already resign because now they have no moral standing left. They are coming in front of a criminal investigation. Do you think in future their political career has any standing anymore, or it will be dented in a big way?
You know, it remains to be seen, and although it's a very difficult time for the Sharifs, but at the same time, they are trying to find some tragedy opportunities out of this tragedy. For some, they are becoming victims. They are also winning the sympathies. I think JIT should handle the case very carefully, realizing that it's political. It's not, a simple criminal investigation. So the optics matters. Who you are calling, he will let the media know how he has been treated. If there is any discrimination, they have a following, they feel it, they realize that, they are being targeted. So, they should be very careful, because the intended objective of the investigation team is to get to the facts. It should not be, dragged to somewhere else. They should not let anybody distract the attention away from the, real objective. So it's a kind of, mixed thing for the Sharifs. How far it can affect the elections, I cannot say. You are aware that Malta Prime Minister, he had to resign before, and then he was re-elected. So, the political implications and the political dynamics are different. There are the constituencies. The people are more concerned about that, how they are being treated, how they are being delivered. And another point is that whether the opposition is strong enough to capture the space being vacated, and due to this crisis. So that remains to be seen.
Thank you very much. This was Mr. Umar Chima, and as he said, that tomorrow when the Prime Minister appears before the JIT, one thing is for sure, it will be the victory for the rule of law.
All right, we're going to be talking more about this. Joining me right now, live from Lahore, is senior journalist Meher Tarar. Meher, thanks so much for joining us here on the show this evening. Now, we are talking about a move which is unprecedented. It is historic. The first time a sitting Prime Minister will be asked to appear before a joint investigation team that is appointed by the Supreme Court in Pakistan. How do you see this development tomorrow when he appears at about 11 a.m.?
Well, Pakistani Prime Ministers have always been in courts for one reason or the other, right from the time of General Ziaul Haq, when he arrested the most popular Prime Minister Pakistan has ever seen. And I mean, he was even later hanged. Yusuf Raza Gilani was summoned to the court too. He was even asked to resign, and then even the next Prime Minister after him was asked to appear before. I mean, I don't know if he appeared before a JIT, but he did appear before a court. So it's not really a very unusual thing. But yes, for the first time in the history of Pakistan, what has happened is that there's accountability. Well, the fact that this has reached this point is simple. I mean, Panama leaks involve a number of people from a number of countries, and I don't think a lot has happened to most of them. Most of them, I mean, yes, there was a hue and cry even in your country vis-a-vis certain people, but I don't think anything really happened beyond, the noise in media. But I'm happy to see that for the first time, because of, I would give the entire credit of the credit of this thing to Imran Khan.
Okay.
He's the one who's been pushing. He's the one, basically, because his party, the premise of his party, Pakistan Tehreek-e-Insaf, is accountability. When it was founded in 20 years ago, this was the main purpose. It was a movement for accountability. Right. Of course, it became a political party later on, but it has, it is Imran Khan's single-mindedness because of which this JIT has been formed, because of which everything that you see has happened.
Right.
I'm not saying the allegations against the Prime Minister's family are correct or true or legitimate. I'm not saying...
But I get your point, Meher. You're saying that the fact that the investigations went on and it took over a year now and it's reached at this point, this in itself is a big step as far as accountability is concerned. I get your point over there. But Meher, what are your views on how transparent is this whole probe itself? How transparent would you say that this joint investigation team, the 6-member team, is at this point in time?
Honestly, I don't really trust Pakistan's justice system a great deal, but I do have a lot of respect for the Supreme Court and the decisions they have taken in this case. And yes, of course, I mean, Nawaz Sharif's family, he's not just the Prime Minister, he's been in politics for a long time. He's been this is the third time he's the Prime Minister of Pakistan. He was the Chief Minister. His family has been in politics for a number of years, and they wield a great deal of influence. So to say that there would be complete and absolute transparency is hoping for a lot, but I hope it happens. So far, the perception that we have got as normal, regular Pakistani is that it is transparent, but at the end of the day, who knows? You see, I mean, for instance, if there is no evidence against the Prime Minister's family, if they do prove that that the money they invested overseas was legitimate, of course there's going to be a lot of backlash. There will be a lot of noise saying that the JIT did not dispense a fair verdict. On the other hand, if it goes the other way, there's always going to be the fear of victimhood. Because, as I said, this is not the first time that a sitting Prime Minister has been in a court in Pakistan for, the right or the wrong reasons.
Right.
This is, yes, I'm not happy as a citizen of Pakistan to see my Prime Minister giving explanations for his investments overseas. But yes, as a Pakistani, I'm very happy to see that somebody
yes, I get what you're saying. There are allegations and they must be probed. But of course, I get your point both ways. Why you're positive as well as negative as far as this JIT probe is concerned. But Meher there pointed out, the stand of a normal Pakistani citizen. Day to day, what he thinks about the probe. We have some reactions, Meher. We'd like to play them out from what do Pakistanis feel about this case.
The Prime Minister is appearing before that committee tomorrow. It's a big day for Pakistan. It's a very rare thing that the sitting Prime Minister has to face a criminal investigation like that. And I think this itself is such a huge success for Pakistani society and Pakistan's political system that Prime Minister has been forced to appear before a joint investigation team. And we are very hopeful the kind of proceedings, the kind of evidence that has come up till now, and the way proceedings are going on in joint investigation team, and also you can see the politics that is going on, especially the ruling party, the way they are reacting to the investigation clearly indicates.
शरीफ को पेश होना चाहिए क्योंकि चोर को अपनी चोरी का क्लियर करना चाहिए. अगर वो चोर नहीं है तो उसको सामने आना चाहिए. ठीक है, अगर चोर है भी तो फिर भी उसका पता लग जाएगा. उसको होना चाहिए, उसके सामने आना चाहिए.
और भी पॉलिटिशियन जो माजी में करप्शन कर चुके हैं उनको भी पेश होना चाहिए. खाली नवाज शरीफ को पेश नहीं होना चाहिए, बल्कि मैं समझता हूँ कि जितने भी हैं, जरदारी साहब को भी होना चाहिए. इसमें तमाम जितने लीडर गुजर चुके हैं, रहमान मलिक साहब का करप्शन में टॉप लिस्ट में नाम था, उनको छोड़ दिया गया, उनको भी आना चाहिए. लेकिन मैं समझता हूँ ये बहुत अच्छा काम है और वो पेश हो रहे हैं, ये भी उनकी बड़ी बात है.
JIT के सामने पेश होना है नवाज शरीफ को. डेफिनेटली बहुत खुशी की बात होगी कि हमारे मुल्क का इतना बड़ा फ़ैसला होने जा रहा है. हमारी आवाम के लिए ये फ़ैसला है, किसी और के लिए तो नहीं है.
मुल्क का प्राइम मिनिस्टर है और बड़ी अच्छी बात है कि प्राइम मिनिस्टर जो है वो खुद उसने अपने आप को पेश कर दिया है. इससे बड़ी बात और क्या हो सकती है उसके लिए. अपने बेटों को उसने पेश कर दिया, खुद वो पेश हो रहा है. भाई उसका जो JIT को तो उन्होंने कहा है JIT जब भी बुलाई वो खुद जैसे बुलाई वो पेश हो जाएगी.
ये बहुत अच्छा इक़दाम है. वज़ीर आज़म हो या आम आदमी हो या मिनिस्टर हो, सबका एहतसाब होना चाहिए. जिन लोगों ने इस मुल्क को लूटा है, जिन लोगों ने करप्शन किया है, सबका एहतसाब होना चाहिए. ये नहीं है कि ये वज़ीर आज़म है, क्योंकि आम आदमी जो है अगर एक साइकिल भी चोरी करें तो उसको तो जेल भेजते हैं. और इन लोगों ने अरबों खरबों रुपए करप्शन किए हैं, मुल्क के साथ धोखा किया है, आवाम का खून पसीना जो है चूसा है. तो क्या इन लोगों का एहतसाब नहीं होना चाहिए?
All right, Mayor, coming back to you, we heard what people in Pakistan feel. There is a mixed opinion, of course. Now, like they say, it's not just the Prime Minister, but he's asked his family members also to cooperate as far as this investigation is concerned. Now, we understand that Pakistan is headed for elections next year. Do you think that this could work in favor and against Nawaz Sharif as well in next year? He could get some sympathy votes. On the other hand, if the investigation was to go the other way, then the opposition could be a big gainer. So politically, lots at stake.
Of course, look, if the court finds, gives the verdict that Nawaz Sharif and his family are guilty of what they've been accused of, I do believe the election results would be considerably different from what they were in 2013. But then, look, I don't think the Prime Minister and his family are doing anybody a favor. They have been asked, they are supposed to be there. It's not that they had a choice that, okay,
right,
you know, we're not going to appear in front of the Judicial Committee. But yes, what one of the people you spoke to said, it's very true. I think it's true of your country, it's true of ours, that there is no accountability. There is no accountability of the rich. Yes, if somebody steals a small thing, if a poor person steals a bicycle, he will be locked up. But on the other hand, there are people who have stolen crores and crores and crores of rupees, and there is no accountability. Nobody has ever been able to touch them, be it a former Prime Minister, President, Chief Ministers, Ministers, business tycoons, even Army generals. There have been accusations on General Musharraf, and look where he is today. He got out scot-free. I mean, he got out without anything on him.
Right.
I hope this year, as I said, I repeat, I'm not accusing, I'm not saying the allegations are true, but if they are proven to be true, and even if they are not, even if everything he has done is legitimate, this will open a new window for Pakistan to get to the point that yes, just because you're in power, you're not untouchable. It's
right,
not that you cannot be questioned.
So you're saying
Look
this
at
is
what
going to help in sending that message across. I would have to agree with most of what you said, Meher, but as far as accountability is concerned, I mean, none of the politicians, chief ministers or businessmen in India go scot-free. There are big high-profile cases going on,
whether
it
is
to bring back Vijay Mallya or other cases.
I was talking about people in my country.
Okay.
That is what
I get your point, Meher. Also, another important reaction that we have from Pakistan is, from the opposition, PTI, Meher. We're going to play that out right now. The stakes are high for the ruling PMLN in the Panama probe. Political fallout can be not only huge for Sharif's party, but it also could add more steam to the opposition, Imran Khan's party, PTI. WION spoke to PTI spokesperson Fawad Chaudhry on the significance of the probe against Pakistan's Prime Minister for money laundering. Here's what he said.
The Prime Minister is appearing before that committee tomorrow. It's a big day for Pakistan. It's a very rare thing that the sitting Prime Minister has to face a criminal investigation like that. And I think this itself is such a huge success for Pakistani society and Pakistan's political system that Prime Minister has been forced to appear before a joint investigation team. And we are very hopeful the kind of proceedings, the kind of evidence that has come up till now, and the way proceedings are going on in joint investigation team, and also you can see the politics that is going on, especially the ruling party, the way they are reacting to the investigation clearly indicates that there is a lot of things that were hidden from the people of Pakistan, and they are coming into the surface now, and the Prime Minister is certainly facing a huge blow. How can a Prime Minister who is facing criminal charges, and that too of money laundering, tax evasion and fraud, can stay in his office and face investigation? And the problem is that all the investigators are ultimately for their promotions, for their transfers, are dependent upon the Prime Minister office, and Prime Minister office can affect their careers. So this is the dilemma that we are facing. But the Prime Minister's ruling party is not ready to change Prime Minister, because, as you know, in Pakistan the political system is dependent on the personalities and not on the parties. In the classic parliamentary party democracy, party should be the strong and party should be taking decisions instead of the leader. But in Pakistani politics, it's the leader that is taking the decisions, and Nawaz Sharif is not ready to go to electorate. He is not ready to change. He is not ready to resign. His party is not ready to change. So this is the dilemma we are facing right now. There are certain expectations from the elected leaders, and the major the expectations from the elected leader is that he will not loot and plunder and will not use his position to loot the wealth of the people of the country that has elected them. So if this would be treated as a license to loot and plunder, and accountability is taken away from the democracy, it will become a rule of jungle. The people will come, they will usurp the money, they will usurp the wealth of the nation, and then they will steal elections. And this is what's going on in Pakistan right now. This is the kind of democracy that Egypt faced for 30 years. This is the kind of democracy that Libya used to have, and these are democracies with all the despotic governments basically exercise. So Pakistan is, if a democracy, no democracy can even be called a democracy without accountability.
All right, we heard PTI's take over here. Meher, last couple of minutes now, we have, what Qamar Cheema said is interesting, and also what Fawad Chaudhry here says is important. Whatever happens now, we're not expecting any earth-shattering, things to happen tomorrow when the Prime Minister goes in for questioning. But it is going to be a victory of the rule of law in a sense in Pakistan. A great deal of symbolism that is attached to this entire move of the Prime Minister going in and deposing before the JIT.
Yes, and also this is also connected to what you said before you went to Fawad. I absolutely agree that I even wrote an editorial about this a few years ago, that in India, at least, I'm not saying that everybody is punished, but at least people do go to jail. People are questioned. People are investigated. Your tycoons, your actors, your celebrities, famous people, everybody's investigated, and that is something that's something Pakistan can learn from. As I said, as all of us have been saying, one, we cannot simply assume that the Prime Minister and his family are guilty. Two, right. If they are, it is up to the court and the JIT to prove that they are. And if they are, I hope they pay a price for what they did. And even, God forbid, if nothing comes out of it, God forbid in the sense that, if it's just a farce, if it's just symbolic, if nothing tangible is going to come out of it, I do hope that everybody in power in Pakistan would understand that now it's not that everybody is going to get away with everything. But it's not, you can't just keep, they use the word plundering and looting. It's not just about plundering and looting, it's about being accountable for everything that you have. You can't just have properties all over the world and then say that you're not going to explain how you got all that money. Everybody is accountable to the country right. They are from. Everybody, especially a Prime Minister. And I'm very happy that a new example is being set. And I don't think PMLN or Prime Minister's party should take it negatively. If the same thing had been happening to PTI or PPP, they would have been cheering the loudest. Asif Zardari was in jail for a number of years for the same charges. Okay, nothing really came out of that either, but right. He was jailed for a long time, and I think this is a great moment for Pakistan to set a new course. Accountability is a must. If you are a public servant, you have to be accountable to right. The public.
It's an important day nonetheless tomorrow, with the Prime Minister, the support dipping within his party, also in the cabinet, with no support from the military whatsoever. It will be crucial how this investigation proceeds and what happens tomorrow and thereafter. Will the Prime Minister be summoned again is another question. We will be tracking those developments from Pakistan very closely. Meher Tarar, thanks so much for joining us here and sharing your thoughts with us here on the show. That's a wrap. This is me, Sana Khan, signing off. We'll continue to get you more news and updates right here on WION.